Unlockable characters have always been interesting to me, with that shadowy silhouette hiding behind a locked box, just barely out of reach. And with a game series on the scale of Super Smash Bros. That literally breaks the boundaries between series, anything was possible if you were either good enough to unlock it by chance, or you were in the know on a little known method to unlock a crazy secret character that wasn't even on the box. Or in the manual, when games had manuals and people read them. But I feel like lately, Smash Bros. Ultimate has definitely taken away some of the mystery and challenge in unlocking characters. Don't get me wrong, with a roster that massive, it's sort of a good thing that characters are easily accessible, and it'd probably take a lot of time to find unique ways to unlock all of them anyways. But back in Melee, to unlock a character like Luigi, you had to do crazy specific things like clear the Mushroom Kingdom with a 2 in the seconds place, or play Versus Mode 800 times. So when rumors started circulating that Sonic was hidden in Melee as a secret unlockable character, people began trying all sorts of insane methods to see if they could be one of the first people to play as him, as people began to post screenshots and methods to unlock him on the internet. So today on the Mini Myths of Gaming, we'll be taking a look at the widely speculated and infamous rumor of Sonic in Super Smash Bros. Melee. As you can probably imagine, fake screenshots from Melee used to be pretty common, with some claiming, like this one for example, that if you got a perfect score in the credits minigame and defeated Yoshi in Adventure Mode, you would unlock Toad as a playable character, which sadly isn't true. Because man, we sure missed out on being able to beat the crap out of Peach as Toad. Talk about a loss. But when Sonic's inclusion was even rumored, it sounded almost too crazy to even believe for two reasons. The first of which being pretty obvious. Sonic was Nintendo's main rival at the time, and there was no reason that he'd ever appear in his biggest enemy's crossover game on their own console. Especially when Sega does what Nintendo don't. So just being told Sonic of all characters was in Smash Bros. Melee was pretty unbelievable in itself. The second reason was more related to where the series was at the time, when it wasn't even a series but just a sequel. And more importantly, when there were no fighters from outside Nintendo whatsoever. The biggest stretch we'd gotten at that point was from Fire Emblem with Marth and Roy, which was still a series published by Nintendo. And I mean, since then we have like 100 more Fire Emblem characters, but that's beside the point. So for there to be a secret fighter both from outside Nintendo and from Sega at the same time, you better have some really good evidence to back it up. And to the surprise of many, there was actually really good evidence to back it up. Enter Electronic Gaming Magazine, a magazine presumably about electronic gaming. EGM was just a pretty standard gaming magazine, but popular enough to later merge with GameSpot and OneUp.com, and with plans to actually relaunch later this year. But it was also where people started to really believe Sonic could actually be a playable character in Smash Bros. Melee. In a 2002 issue, EGM stated that surprisingly, Sonic the Hedgehog was indeed a character in Melee, and to unlock him, you'd have to be good enough to get a high score of 20 KOs in Cruel Melee mode, even showing screenshots of Sonic in-game as proof. Once you did this, you'd unlock not just Sonic, but Tails as well. And completing Adventure Mode with either of them would unlock a special surprise! That surprise being of course nothing, because the whole thing was fake. After a while, people began attempting this challenge, and surprise surprise, they actually completed it. Heck, some people got more than 20 KOs. This guy got 892 of them! But to the disappointment of many, they were greeted with nothing, because the entire thing was just an April Fool's joke, and there was no data for Sonic or Tails in the game in the first place. But don't worry, the story doesn't end there. In fact, it only gets a little more interesting the deeper you look into it. While the screenshots themselves were fake, and EGM later apologized for the joke by rewarding people who emailed them a video getting 20 KOs with a free copy of Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, Sonic actually came a little closer to getting into Smash Melee than you might imagine. Aside from Smash Bros, there were already talks between Nintendo and Sega to create a Mario and Sonic crossover game in 2004. But even earlier than that, Shigeru Miyamoto actually reached out to Sega and Sonic Team, because he really wanted to get Sonic into Melee. But because of time constraints and probably more game developer related stuff, he wasn't able to make it into the final version. And no, sadly, at no point was Tails ever planned.
Once again, you fools have been tricked!
It's a fake?
You know what, actually now that I think about it, that's probably a good thing. Even though Sonic didn't make it into Melee, this conversation eventually led to plans for Sonic to be included in Brawl, which was actually delayed in order for him to make it in. And from there, he's been a major character of the series ever since. Despite companies having rivalries, Sonic has always just felt like a character that would work in Smash, And with this inclusion, Smash has become more of an all-out video game royale than just a Nintendo fighting game, with titans like Banjo, Pac-Man, Mega Man, Mario, Link, and Sonic all being able to fight each other in a PictoChat lobby while listening to Megalovania. Has really just shown us how much the series has evolved with outside characters. And while Sonic was never in Melee, even just his consideration was the beginning of something great. Also Sans. Sans is also pretty great. This has been the Many Myths of Gaming. Thanks for watching. Hey guys, that's all for today. If you enjoyed the video, then let me know by dropping a like down below. Or you can tell me what you think and leave a suggestion for the next episode in the comments. And as always, for more videos like this one, and for the other series on my channel, don't forget to smash that squish red subscribe button for more. Once again, thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, I'll be back in a flash.